Do you own a home or have plans to in the future? Don't miss the Dino and Nelson Show, Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Money Radio, KTLK, AM 1150. You'll get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the local real estate market and how to take advantage of that knowledge. How to approach home ownership or mortgage financing with design, vision, and focus, as well as accurate information. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, listen to Real Estate Radio with Dino and Nelson Sunday afternoons at 1 p.m. right here on Money Radio, KTLK, AM 1150.
Good afternoon, Southern California. This is Dino.
And this is Nelson.
From the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150. Thank you for joining us this weekend. This first segment is Hot Off the Net, brought to you by First Centennial Mortgage. Real interest rates guaranteed. Text the word REFI to 313131. We have a special guest, Andrew Karigan from Teles Properties. The segment's brought to you by USA National Title, seasoned veterans, superior value, and faster turnaround. So Andrew Karigan, very interesting guy, great look, great guy. He has this persona about him, which I hope you will be able to express out to the people here on radio, not just TV like you're used to.
Hold on, listeners.
And anyways, he works for Teles Properties. He's Teles Properties newcomer in the real estate industry, real strong in Beverly Hills, Newport Beach, and Pasadena. Alumnus
and Santa Barbara.
And
now Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara now.
Throw that in, yes.
Alumnus of Cal Berkeley. Closed 57 transactions in 2010 in the middle of the recession. Superstar. And then I don't get this one. 2011, how come you didn't bump it up to like 100? You dropped to 55.
Slacker.
Slacker. And then what do you got going so far in 2012?
It's been a busy year. It's just a great year, and it's all where you put your focus, and we're just rolling right along, just keeping multiple transactions in escrow at any given time. And
your focus is mostly Newport Coast, Corona Del Mar, Laguna Beach area, right?
It is. I do Orange County as a whole, but I'd say my focus would be that Newport Core, Newport, Corona Del Mar, Laguna Beach, Shady Canyon.
So high end.
High end. Okay, you said it, high end.
You're the high end guy, huh?
Yeah, what can I say? It's fun.
So you're fluent in 4 languages.
Depends on the day of the week and the moment of the day.
Which languages? Tell us. In the language.
Elínica.
Okay, so you say Elinas. Okay.
See, listeners, this is what I had to put up with on the drive up here. We've got 2 Greek boys in the car, and all they did was chatter and chatter and chatter, and I sat there and went, there's good radio.
Oh, yeah.
And what other languages?
Français. Bonjour, ça va? Merci beaucoup pour l'occasion ici. Okay.
You're welcome.
Próximo, buenos dias, español. Okay, buenos dias, Los Angeles.
Andrew's a bright guy. So anybody that comes out of Cal is very accomplished on the academic level. Obviously, fluent in 4 languages, and had a role in international business before you got into the real estate market. So, right. I mean, unbelievably credentialed.
Thank you.
So, with that kind of background, how did you end up in real estate?
For years and years. Almost 2 decades, I was the head of 2 different computer companies for international sales and traveled the globe, and woke up the same time that Dina did this morning, before 2:30 in the morning, every day to hit Europe, then hit Asia, then hit Brazil, then hit Mexico, and just did it again and again. And after you do that for a while, you just sort of say, I'm ready for a whole new avenue. And I'll blame it on my Greek mother from Athens, Greek. She said, Andrew, why don't you do real estate? And I put my nose in the air and I said, Dina, because I call my mom Dina. She's Dina, close than Dina. I said, Dina, real estate? Come on, I speak 4 languages. I went to Berkeley, I have my MBA. Real estate? You've got to be kidding. And she says, you will do it. You will do so well because you connect with people. And because of your background, you'll do so much better. So I said, let me give it a whirl. And the first deal I sold in 3 days, double-ended it, full 6%. And I thought, God, I can do this in my sleep.
Mama Dina said that.
Mama Dina.
Leave it to Mama Dina.
That strikes me as odd because most Greek moms tell you can't do anything right.
Oh, no. My mom was cool. She was so encouraging, and she's been great.
Maybe just your home, Dino.
Yeah. My big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah, totally.
And obviously Dina's proven true, like the stats that we mentioned about the market heating up. But before the market heated up, when we went back and looked at the activity that you had in 2010, 2011, you were selling a boatload of properties, and a huge number of transactions, especially in the marketplace, that was hit hard. Not maybe in values, but just activity in the luxury high end space. How'd you do that?
I think it's just a matter of being out there. I mean, I'm out there on the front lines every single solid weekend doing an open house. I will not miss a weekend because I think it's extremely important to be in the front line, be amongst the people who are there. They see you, they see your face, and they start to see you again and again and again, and they develop a confidence, a trust. People work whom they trust and whom they like, and they just sort of figured I kind of know my gig.
So still, after the success, you're out doing open houses?
I don't miss it. In fact,
every
I
weekend.
gear my vacations around making sure I'm back. I'm going to Mama Dina's. I'm going to visit her in Minneapolis next week, and I'm flying in Sunday morning by 11 so I can hit my 1 p.m. open house.
Wow.
I mean, I really
that's
am very
dedication.
targeted.
And that's not the natural progression in your industry. As you get into the mega production category that you've moved into, you back off, and it's the teams of assistants that are out holding your open houses. But you're out there front line.
I am, just because I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I mean, this job is not just a job. It's truly, in a sense, a hobby. And when you just do it, you do it, and it just flows. And, I don't look at my clock and turn off my phone at 5 or 7 p.m. I answer the phone. Unfortunately, probably too much.
Yeah,
but I answer the BlackBerry. I'm constantly just connected because I guess I was used to that from a 24-hour cycle in the international sales division, that business was around the clock, and I treat the real estate business the same way. And so my clients know I operate on their time. When they need me, I'm there. I'm on call 11:30 at night. It's even happened at 1:30 in the morning. I've take calls. And
do you have a lot of international clients?
I do have a fair amount of international clients right now. Taiwan, London, South Africa. Majority of them are here, but
and
I do have a few.
The majority of them putting cash into the U.S.? Are they paying cash for properties?
They are. They're paying cash for properties. A lot of them on the sidelines, sort of waiting for their time in the sun to kind of step forward based on, where we're at, reaching the low. And I think people are starting to see, wow, now with multiple offers in the under 500 category on a regular basis, they better jump quick or they're going to miss the boat.
All cash offers, Dino, and that's just like the cancer word. It's terrible when I hear that.
I know, for us, right?
Yeah. Hopefully he'll.
You got to get a loan. Come on, rates are at 3-4%.
Is it not the American way? I mean,
we'll change subjects. No more cash. Yeah, of course we got to get a loan with those interest rates as low as they are.
But how did you get started though? I mean, you're just a poor boy out of Minneapolis.
What was crazy is I arrived in Orange County. I did not know one soul in Orange County. My electronics company transferred me here from L.A. I mean, I just came kicking and screaming to go behind the orange curtain coming out of L.A. And I bought a house within 6 months of arriving, and I said, well, this is where I'm going to make my life, and I better just get serious. And just, again, started getting out there and networking and talking to people.
Just a lot of hard work.
A lot of hard work every Saturday and Sunday. Back then it was Saturday and Sunday. Never missed a whole weekend. Now it's just Sundays. At least I give myself one day to regroup a little bit.
In case you just jumped in your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335 or at dinoandnelson.com. We're speaking with Andrew Karigan from Teles Properties. This segment's brought to you by USA National Title, seasoned veterans, superior value, and faster turnaround. At
the beginning of the segment, the beginning of the show, we were talking about really some opposing opinions out there and from an economic standpoint. And it seems that opinion is pretty polarized on whether we are fully in recovery or if it's a false shelf and it's going to crash again. What do you think? Are we in recovery?
I believe we're in recovery. I am an optimist. I've been an optimist, and I think that's what's driven my business as well. Even in a downturn, I'm always optimistic, and I certainly kind of defied the odds in the beginning days. And so I will maintain that optimistic attitude with where we're at. And I think, in a way, I'm almost sad because I did better in the downturn. But, I think that, yes, I think we're truly in an upturn. And just the way you see multiple offers now in West LA, there's multiple offers on everything. Even above $1 million. I mean, it's chaos there. It's madness in a good way. Orange County's catching up. Definitely under 500K. You're things are moving within 30 days. Between 500K and $1 million, you're probably 30 days to 6 months. Above $1 million, it's sort of a crapshoot. It sort of depends on the attributes of the home, special attributes like location, view.
So, Andrew, do you believe that the beginning of the crash maybe took, from a real estate perspective, started in California? Do you think California is going to be the first out of the recovery?
At least in the coastal region, for sure. There's so much coastline. I think that's why I focused where I do, sort of the Riviera, the Gold Coast region. I mean, I think it's so many people. You see people now flying in from Dubai. You go to Fashion Island Shopping Center in Orange County, and you just see every summer you see people that have come in from Dubai and are there to enjoy the summer and get away from the heat of Dubai, and are all at the Pelican Hills Resort, and they're out looking for properties, even if they use them 2 months a year.
Yeah, and
they're looking at multi-million-dollar properties.
Yeah,
it's wild.
And it simply doesn't shock you when you hear the stat that I shared with our listeners about out of Chapman economic study that potentially a 10% rise in values next year.
It doesn't shock me at all. We're up, about 21% from 2 years ago. It doesn't shock me at all. I think that things are kind of churning and burning now and moving on the positive direction.
This is exciting to hear about. I want to dive a little bit deeper when we go into our next segment. So, Dino, this show's exciting, and next week is going to be unbelievable with General William Lyon of Lyon Homes. We'll be broadcasting from his Lyon Air Museum at John Wayne Airport in the hangar in front of the General's B-17 Flying Fortress, nicknamed the Fuddy Duddy.
I am so excited about next week. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be on the tails of 4th of July, speaking to a general, good old American hero. You've been listening to the Dino and Nelson Show on K-Talk, AM 1150, every weekend afternoon. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. Or you can text the word REFI to 313131. We'll be right back with Andrew Karigan from Teles Properties.
In a chaotic real estate market, you want peace of mind when it comes to the home you're purchasing. Roadrunner Exterminating, a family-owned and operated company providing structural repairs, local treatments, and fumigation. Roadrunner Exterminating is a licensed, bonded, and insured expert in termite, pest control, and general contracting. For fast and efficient service, plus the peace of mind of knowing the condition of your new home, call Roadrunner Exterminating at 866-398-BUGS. That's 866-398-BUGS. Or on the web at roadrunnerexterminating.com. As always, mention the Dino and Nelson Show and get a free home inspection. 866-398-BUGS or roadrunnerexterminating.com. General Contractor License 922404. Nominal fee for escrow inspections.
This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and I want to tell you about one of our show partners, Efficient Services Escrow. As the name implies, Efficient Services Escrow provides lenders, realtors, home buyers, and sellers with fast, efficient, but most importantly, worry-free specialty escrow services. Dino and I know firsthand that real estate transactions can be complex and layered with areas of exposure for details to be handled incorrectly. The number one reason we work with Efficient Services Escrow is their seasoned veterans are reliable, proactive, and best of all, provide us worry-free escrow services. With any real estate sale, purchase, or refinance, call our trusted friends at Efficient Services Escrow, 949-208-9600. That's 949-208-9600, and let them know that Dino and Nelson sent you. Efficient Services Escrow at 949-208-9600 or online at efficientescrow.com.
What do you do when your bank simply says no to your real estate purchase? Polaris Equity Group provides an answer. Yes. Our flexible purchase and bridge loan programs are the direct result of our involvement in more than 3,000 transactions of varying size and complexity. Since 1991, Polaris has completed over $500 million in real estate investment transactions using both debt and equity solutions. When the bank says no, call Polaris Equity Group to hear yes. 949-727-4333. That's 949-727-4333. Logical decisions to execute a timely close. 949-727-4333. Or find us online at polarisequitygroup.com.
We've reviewed your application for credit at this time, and we're unable to approve you. The dreaded credit denial. You had strong credit, but life got in the way and companies are turning you down. The Dino and Nelson Show has a solution with Saving My Credit. Saving My Credit offers highly skilled specialists and a research methodology that is consistently applied to improve your financial situation. Nagging collection accounts, late pays, tax liens, bankruptcies, charge-offs are some of the many examples of negative reporting that leads to credit denial. Saving My Credit applies rigorous energy, experience, and resourcefulness to raising your credit score. How about this instead? Your credit is approved. It sounds so much better. Contact Saving My Credit at 714-699-4680 or savingmycredit.com. That's 714-699-4680. 714-699-4680 or online at savingmycredit.com. This is Nelson from the Dino and Nelson Show, and I want to talk to you about our expertise outside the studio. Combined, Dino and I bring 45 years of mortgage experience to First Centennial Mortgage. We've successfully advised our clients through the most challenging economic and mortgage times. The recession of the late 80s, the housing crisis of the early 90s, the equity lending exuberance of the early 2000s, and now the mortgage meltdown and loss of home values since 2008. Bottom line, professional and experienced loan advisors to help you protect your home and real estate investments. This week has brought new attention to high balance loans, jumbo fixed rates up to $2 million with 30-year rates below 4.25%, 15-year rates below 3.75%, and if you can believe it, 5-year fixed rates in the high 2s. Let's face it, fixed interest rates in the high 2s for loan amounts up to $2 million. Call Dino and Nelson, expert loan advisors, direct at 888-814-3335. Ask about their jumbo fixed rates in the high 2s up to $2 million. That's Dino and Nelson at 888-814-3335. 888-814-3335 or the DinoandNelsonShow.com.
All rates referred can change without notice. First Centennial Mortgage licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 132763. The Dino and Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Dino and Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Welcome back. This is Dino from the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk AM 1150. We have our special guest, Andrew Karigan from Teles Properties. And this segment is brought to you by CDA Law Center, providing reliable loan modification services. So, Andrew, the first time we talked, we were interviewing you, asking you a bunch of questions just to kind of get to know you. And you said you have a secret weapon that you bring in on all your listing presentations. Tell us about your secret weapon.
I do. Well, I have a team of people working with me, colleagues working with me. One of them is a gentleman named Barry Knickerbocker, who is an appraiser, a realtor, but primarily an appraiser of 27 years of experience in the market that I work in, the Newport core. And
which is important because it's such an exclusive area.
It is.
And there could be appraisers that look at something that are used to doing tract homes.
Correct.
And it's just a totally different ballgame.
Well, and this is one of the biggest challenges from the lending perspective that we're seeing is out-of-area appraisers coming into a marketplace, let alone Newport Coast, that they have no experience, no identity on what they're doing. And how do you take a 6,000-square-foot, 9-bedroom, 10-bath home when your depth of experience is dealing with subdivisions out in the Inland Empire?
Yeah.
Well, what I do is I explain to the prospective listing person here, the seller, that I have a person on my team who knows the Newport market, has been appraising this area for 27 years. And I always say, look, you have your opinion on the value of your home as the seller. I will have an opinion as the agent. But it's great to have a third opinion, almost unbiased opinion, from somebody who all they do is check values on a daily basis. Perhaps we should bring that person in as well. We can hear an analysis, an unofficial appraisal, so to speak. And from there, we have three opinions. But from there, we can put those three opinions together and strategically list the home so that we're coming in at a number that is not going to be too high, where we're gaining, sitting on the market for a long time, but we're not too low, that we're leaving money on the table. and we're being as strategic as possible with 3 opinions.
And that's such a huge asset, I would imagine,
It's huge.
especially with sellers. Every seller's the same way. Well, this home is different, and it's worth more because.
They always have obviously their bias, and I'm going to have my opinion as a realtor.
Which I don't want to bag on realtors, but they're almost just as bad sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Because they pull comps in what's a comp in their eyes, but not a comp to what a bank thinks is a true comp, which is what the appraiser knows.
Correct.
Right?
And Barry, my appraiser, is relatively conservative too. So, I think it's just good to have that third opinion. And when you bring someone like Barry in, they know me, but they don't know him, and they almost feel like, okay, who is it? This guy's coming in. He's just a third party, and they love it. They love to hear what the outside world might truly think the value is, because if they're going to be hitting the market, that's really important. And as I tell them, look, at the end of the day, your home is going to have to appraise to get the loan for the buyer. So it's really, really important. And they say, all of a sudden the light bulb goes off, and they're like, oh, wow, bring them in.
Yeah, I love that second opinion. That's really a dynamic approach to it. And then, of course, listeners, we did exactly this. We brought in his secret weapon here. We have Barry in studio with us. Barry, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
So 27 years in the industry, you've seen obviously all sorts of market environments, market swings. In the appraisal community has its own challenges. Are you chasing value right now? Is that a problem?
It is difficult because as an appraiser, you're always using comparables that are behind, 2 to 3 months behind. That's why at this point, I try to throw in pending sales and active listings just to give you an idea of what's happening in the market, or giving the reader of the report, which is typically the lender, an idea of what's happening currently.
So obviously credentialed, 3 decades of experience, but when you do that, do you still get resistance from the seller? That same sort of reference that I was explaining to Andrew in terms of, this home is different because?
Oh, of course. Everyone has pride in their home. Everyone thinks their home is different or a bit better than the neighbors. The bottom line is, in the market, those differences might end up just being as an appeal to another buyer, as opposed to translating to real value.
So it's really a huge asset to have him on board. And you've seen this many, many times. You have testimonies in terms of being able to right price the home and have the seller accept that in today's marketplace. You had a recent experience where you sold a property very quickly, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, many times that's happened, but in particular, there was a standout property that had been listed by a very, very well-known realtor in the Newport Beach, Newport Coast area for about 9 months, and I believe they had one offer. It didn't come together, and then some contacts of mine were able to get me in front of those sellers and interviewed me and said, please take over the listing after the previous listing expired. And in discussions with them, we did bring Barry in as well and discussed strategic list price. We did some adjustment. And so I did come in, and I sold the home before even the broker preview at full price within 3 days with 2 backup offers. And of course, the sellers were very, very, very pleased. And that home even abutted to a cemetery.
Oh, geez.
And I still sold it.
Wow.
How about that? Yes.
So after 9 months on the marketplace, one offer, you come in with Barry's assistance, right price, you get the seller's attention in terms of understanding reality, and
Correct.
then within 3 days of the new listing, property sold.
At full price, correct.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great.
And so with this experience and all the open houses that you've had, and the mention that you made to the international market, you had another experience with a international buyer coming into one of your open houses. What was that?
I did. I had another home that was sort of early on in my career in real estate, a home in Newport Coast that I listed, and I sold it in about 18 days with 8 offers. We did a bidding war with the top 3 offers, but I did manage to squeeze in one open house during that time period, and I love open houses. I love meeting the people. But in that particular open house, it was just early on, and a woman walked in who was from Asia, and she was wearing Burberry from head to toe, very, very fashionable, the Chanel sunglasses, the spike heels. She walked in. She looked like a very sophisticated potential buyer. So she came up to me, and she took off her sunglasses, and in her own voice, she said, I know you. I know you from Korea. I see your face all over internet. I feel like you're my friend. And I thought, wow, at that moment I looked up and I said, thanks, Mom. Thanks, God.
Thanks, Dina.
It's working. Thanks, Dina. It's working. It's working. And I knew that I was on the right track from then on. And, I kept going.
And here's a whole another dynamic that's prevalent in our marketplace now with the internet and all the different mediums that we have to market properties. And now you have an international audience that's coming in and know you from their countries.
Isn't that something? Yeah. So it's been a buildup over time of a lot of heavy marketing, internet, a lot of search engine optimization and so forth, just to sort of brand myself, both Andrew Karigan, the Karigan Residential Group, logo branding, and just making that hopefully a household name, both domestically and internationally. And I'm very proud of it, and I just want to keep going with it.
Great information. Barry, Andrew, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much, guys. In case you just jumped in your car, you're listening to the Dino and Nelson Show here on K-Talk, AM 1150, every weekend afternoon. We can be reached at 888-814-3335. And if you'd like to speak with Andrew Karigan from the Karigan Residential Group, please call us, 888-814-3335, and we'll put you in touch with them.
Dino, I want to have Andrew stay on the air with us, and I want to introduce another guest of ours, Robert Toffel from OC Real Estate Concierge Services, and he uses this as a vehicle to help him build his business and help support the agent community. And I thought it'd be really interesting. This particular segment is brought to you by CDA Law Centers, providing reliable loan modification services. Robert, welcome to the show and the Real Estate Concierge Services platform that you came up with. Tell us a little bit about that. What created the idea? What led to the idea?
Well, simply put, when you're buying, selling, or refinancing, it's one of the largest transactions you're going to do in your lifetime. And I've noticed from my years in the industry that oftentimes people make incorrect choices or just the wrong choice. The philosophy behind my company is basically to connect a consumer selling his property, buying or refinancing with the right agents in his local neighborhood. And this is all based on data, sales track record, reputation. So basically, it's all about connectivity.
And the concierge component, I mean, that's so brilliant because we're all looking for that in terms of, I imagine so many homeowners, I'm in the business, so I have that network, but so many homeowners that buy a home and then have that deer in headlights look, what do I do now? I need a loan. It's going to need to go through an escrow. There's title insurance. There's appraisal on the property. There's credit. There's all of these affiliated services. And so you've developed this platform so that it is a concierge where you've done that research on who is reliable, who is dependable, who has an appropriate reputation in a given marketplace.
Correct.
And so with that, I got to imagine, Andrew, that would be a true benefit when you're operating in your environment, especially with the Newport Coast demographic, very successful people, individuals that have very heavy demands, I'm assuming, on their schedule. Correct. They need that concierge kind of service, don't they?
They do, and it's great to have incredible resources. I too pride myself in being, I call myself the Newport Coast concierge, whether it's doctors, lawyers, escrow companies, title companies, lenders, restaurants. That's huge. People, especially coming in from out of the area, they look to me for, a lot of resources. So what I've done is on my own website, I've built a service provider list. So I just defer that and they can refer to it at 2 a.m. if they want.
And I think that, Robert, coming from your perspective, given that you're not an agent, you don't have a bias one way or the other. This is neutral and transparent information, transparent recommendations.
It truly is. And by being neutral and transparent, it allows me to ingratiate the client, earn that level of trust, and based on, like Andrew, one of the top agents in Orange County, in the real estate business, it's the 95-5 rule. 5% of the agents are doing 95% of the business. If you're not working with one of those top agents, you're probably doing yourself a disservice. By working with one, you increase your chances of selling your house with less time on the market, probably at a higher resale price, and having a better experience. So I'm all about connecting the top agents with the consumers for a true win-win relationship.
How do you choose a realtor, though? I mean, there are several top agents. What do you look for?
Well, there's several things. First of all, I let the data and analytics speak for themselves. You can pull up reports, and I have powerful data partners that send me information that will tell me who the top agents are in any given neighborhood, in any given zip code. So I know who the top agents are, number of transactions, business dealings, but more importantly, oftentimes I've worked with these individuals or have personal relationships. So when I talk to the consumer, I not only bring data, but I bring the emotional side as well.
You have the reputation. I mean, that's a value added that we have, that Dino and I have with all the years of experience. We have history. People know our performance. Andrew, Robert, thanks for being on the show. I want to remind our listeners that next week's show is going to be fabulous. We're going to be down at the Lion Air Museum and interviewing one of America's military veterans, a longtime veteran to the home building community, William Lyon.
The
General Lyon. So, listeners, that'll be a fantastic show.
Thank you for listening to the Dino and Nelson Show this weekend. We can be reached every weekend on K-Talk, AM 1150. Our phone number is 888-814-3335. That's 888-814-3335. Or you can text the word refi to 313131. And you can reach us at dinoandnelson.com. Thank you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.